Morning everyone. Just grabbing a few bits. Hi everyone, welcome to Coffee and Card. I haven't got a cup of coffee or a cup of tea this morning. I haven't had time to make one, so back into the swing of the school run this morning, packed lunches, nursery runs, and getting the kids back into school life. So busy morning, but nice morning. So today I'm going to make a Christmas card for you, and I'm casing a design that I've seen on Pinterest. It's not as nice as the one on Pinterest, but I like it. And yeah, it's quite fun. It's using a really old stamp set, Free as a Bird, which was from last year's annual catalogue, so I'm looking forward to showing you this. As usual, normal, I'll say hello to a few people and then I will flip my camera over and we will get started. So I hope you're sitting comfortably. Hi to Baz and everyone else that's here this morning. I hope you all had a lovely weekend. Really windy here again today. It was really windy in the night. The girls were both awake, scared of the wind, so I'm hoping that goes away soon. But that's enough from me, so let's get some crafting time. So I'll pause you all, flip my camera around and we will get going, so bear with. Okay, so not very exciting desk this morning, but I will show you what I've made. So this is the card we're going to make today. I've tried to create a little ball hanging effect, and I really wanted to have a robin, and this is as close to a robin that I have in my stamp set. So this is the Free as a Bird stamp set. It's been around for a while. It was a real firm favourite of mine last year. Haven't used it so much this year, mainly because I missed the DSP so much, but I wanted to show you that I've created a little robin for you, a little Christmas bird. So we'll get started, and the basis of this card, we have a Whisper White card base, and this measures, this is a little offcut of white, so I'm going to cut it at 10.5 centimetres, and then I'm going to turn and score it at 14.9. Okay, fold it in half, and then we need 2 pieces for our inside and outside layers. So the easiest way to cut this is 1 strip, and this measures 9 centimetres, and then we need to cut 2 pieces that are 13.4 centimetres long. Two pieces, and then the real red layer measures 10.5 centimetres by 13.9. So I'm just taking it up by 0.5 centimetre both times. Okay, so that is all we need our trimmer for this morning. And then we need to cut a white circle. So I have here a plain circle. This is from the Layering Circle dies. I'm just going to wheel that through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, which is behind me on my trolley. So that's the only piece of die cutting that we need to do. So that is our little ball right there. Okay, so let's bring in our pieces. I actually think I've cut this wrong. I have, those red pieces are too wide. They need to be 9.5 centimetres. Okay. Let's see how we go now. Right, this is better. So that is just a really small layer there, and then we have one for the inside of our card base. So to start with, the only thing we need to work on is this piece of white right here, okay? And to start with, we are going to use our ribbon. This ribbon that I'm using is braided linen trim. I really like it. It's a really lovely natural texture. So I'm going to measure. I want a little bit of ribbon to tuck under our bauble, and then I want a little bit to tuck over. So I'm going to cut it about there. And then now we can secure that with some double-sided tape. The reason I'm using double-sided and not washi tape is because there's quite a lot of depth to this ribbon. You need something really quite strong to stick that down. Okay, so just pop that where you're happy with it. Flatten it out because it is flat. Fold it over at the back and stick that down. Okay, well, make sure it's nice and straight. That's it. And then now you can go ahead and stick your layers together. Okay. So that is the basis of our starting point, and then we can stick that on there, but I'm actually going to decorate that before we do that. So we need to now stamp 2 robins, and we are going to, just going to bring that bit of scrap back in. So we need to stamp 1 on this white. Where is he? So this little birdie right here. A few ladies leaving some comments. Sharon's put she loves this, and Barbara's put nice card, Stacey. Thank you, ladies, that's really kind. I was a bit worried after last night's stress of putting something together. I was really worried about this morning, but I managed it, so I'm quite happy with this. So now we can stamp our little bird on our white circle, and then we're going to stamp another one onto this whisper white right here. Okay, so this one is going to be added to there, and this one is the one we're going to colour in. So I've got a selection of Stampin' blends. I've got some soft suede, and I have some cherry cobbler. So starting with the cherry cobbler, I'm going to start with the dark. I use the good thing about this stamp set is there's already a little bit of shading there, so I am just going around that edge where the shading is and colouring in. Okay. And then I've started with the darks, now I'm going over with the light. I'm just going over those lines to blend that together. Okay. And then I've left that little strip there. Colour that in now. Okay, so his breast is actually a little bit darker because I used different. I used real red, I think, on that one, on the first sample. So again, I'm just going around with this dark. And this is the darkest brown that Stampin' Up do in a Stampin' blend. If you wanted to watercolour it, you could use ink from the early espresso stamping pad. What happened last night? Oh, Baz, so last night the card that I put together, I came out here to craft at about 6, thinking I'll put something together for last night's live, and everything I made, Baz, went in the bin. I just couldn't get my head into it. I think I've been so thrown by the news of going back into lockdown. I just couldn't craft last night, and actually I was really pleased with what I came up with in the end, but it was a stressful experience. So I was a bit worried that I would be there again this morning trying to create something for this live, but I think I'd worried unnecessarily. So I'm just going over the lines just to make sure that I'm really, really happy with him, and I think he looks grand. And I'm just going to grab a colour for his beak. Little yellow orangey bit. Okay, so let's cut that out. It's a little bit of fussy cutting. And with this bird here, I'm actually going to cut his feet off because it would actually look quite messy to try and cut around his feet. So I'm going to try and just cut around his body. Thank you, Baz, that's really kind. I think it's thrown quite a lot of people the thought of going kind of backwards. But hopefully it means we can all be with our loved ones at Christmas. As long as people play by the rules, that is. Okay, so there's my little footless, legless robin. So then now, when you place that back on there, you've got his legs on already stamped. So it's just a good technique to try. And I'm going to stick this on with some glue dots. So again, with glue dots, we used these during last night's live. You can see there's little dots on there. And then peel that off. Stick another one on his head. And then line it up so that you can't see your stamping underneath. So there we have our little stamped birdie, and for the floor let's just use a little bit of bronze. We can now stick this on to our card like so, and I'm going to stick that on with some dimensionals, and I've only got mini here at the moment. Believe it or not, I've actually run out of the normal dimensionals, but I had some coming today. Sophie, back in lockdown in Belgium. I know it's for the right reasons, and I do agree with it, but it's just not nice, is it? Not the idea of not seeing family, and I just feel for the girls, what it's doing to them really. So I've actually put this on a bit further over today, or this now. So I want to make sure that's in the middle, but actually that's okay. So we'll stick him on there like so. And now we need to do our little bow. So I've got my braided linen thread again. And we'll make a little bow. I always find it best to tie these little bows whilst the ribbon is on the reel, because you tend to have less waste, and I like less waste. Okay, and the little bow is going to be stuck there. This again, glue dots come in handy for these bows because they're almost invisible and they stick really, really well straight away. Okay, so stick that on. So it's starting to come together. And now we can have a little bit of stamping. I have a sentiment here from the Wrapped in Christmas stamp set. It's the most wonderful time of year. I do love this stamp set. Sentiments are really handy this year, so thank you Stampin' Up for that. Now down here we can put our sentiment like so. And actually I think that looks really nice even without the holly. So let's bring back in our card base, and this, take our pieces out from the middle, and this I'm going to stick down with dimensionals again just to give it a bit of depth. So let's pull some of this apart. These are all the edges. The edges on the mini are so useful because they're a really great thickness. 2 and 3. Frugal, yes Baz, I'm frugal in some ways, not in others. that's on there like so. So I actually think I prefer it without the holly. What do you think? Let me know. Whilst you're letting them out, I'll stick the pieces inside. Okay. Pop that together, and this I'm going to stick down flat in the centre because I don't like too much dimension inside the card. Now I could actually, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp the holly inside this card because I quite like it plain. I think it's really sweet. Why didn't I do that before? So we've got a holly stamp from Peace and Joy stamp set, the stamp set that I used last night. It's Peace and Joy, and it's this holly leaf here and the lovely berries. And I've got Garden Green, which is my favourite Christmassy green. And let's put that down here. Lovely holly. And also it saves me doing more fussy cutting, doesn't it? Without is better. See, you all like without. Less is more, ladies, this morning. And our berries, we'll just line those up and give them a little stamp. So that is our finished card for you this morning. Just to recap, I've used the Free as a Bird stamp set for my little Robin. We've coloured him with cherry cobbler and with soft suede, and I've tried to get more depth of colour on this one using the darker blends as opposed to the lighter shade that I've used there. Okay, we've used the braided linen trim for our little hanging effect, little bow, and this sentiment comes from the Wrapped in Christmas stamp set, and inside we've got a little bit of holly. So yes, very quick coffee and card from me today. It's nearly 20 past, so that's it for me. Thank you to everyone who's followed along and left me comments. It's been nice to spend a little bit of time with you. I'll be back on Wednesday evening at 8:30 for a longer live. No idea what I'm making yet, but I'll try and share a sneak peek with you Wednesday. I hope you have a good week, guys, before I speak to you again. Stay safe, look after each other, and I hope to speak to you all very soon. If you have any questions about anything I've done today or products I've used, drop me a message. I'm in my craft room for a bit, and then I'm popping out a bit later on. So have a great day, everybody. Take care. Bye.